But we will now move into a little mini segment here we've been doing the past couple podcasts for Years in Review, where we're gonna take a look at some country music videos from the 90s.
Yeah, those of you listening at home,
yeah,
pull up YouTube on a separate
yes
source.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, on our mini segment where we discuss the most ridiculous country music videos of the 90s. And for 95, we have Tracy Lawrence's Texas Tornado. The beginning of the video, it feels like you've missed the actual beginning because it starts off right away with a guy dressed in a pirate attire jumping off a plank into the ocean while having some sort of electricity or lightning bolt course through his body. But instead of landing in the water, he's transported to another time, courtesy of Terminator portals.
Well, he's not naked, so
No, yeah, to say, luckily or unluckily for the viewer, he's fully clothed.
He's still dressed like a swashbuckler.
Swashbuckling young man. So just to refresh here, I mean, we're only 5 seconds into the video, but still, the video starts off in the middle of something already happening. The middle of an action scene or whatever, leaving the viewer confused. And to make things clearer, he's transported to what looks like somewhere in Texas in 1995. Then the pirate fella sees a woman like taking clothes off a clothesline or something, and we get our first shot of Tracy Lawrence, who looks like Joe Exotic before he discovered meth.
Yeah, he's dressed like a swashbuckler.
Yeah. And then it cues the generic country music video tropes, quick head turns, impassioned singing into the camera, doing random farm chores and whatnot behind suspicious lighting. There's like he's singing in a bar and he's got like this lights just pouring in from the cracks in the wood. You're like, where the fuck is that coming from? Yeah. And it's at this point in the video that I realized that the pirate has actually been, or he's apparently been taken in as a farmhand for the woman and her child. And so, talk about unrealistic expectations. Don't worry, ladies. One day your time-traveling pirate will arrive on your doorstep, help you out with chores, buy you a dress, give you the best missionary sex of your life, and be a father figure to your child, and leave you in a bolt of lightning. This is exactly what happens in this fucking video.
He's a pirate. Yeah, and he comes upon this lady doing. Oh, is she like a single?
I guess so. I mean,
she's like a single mom, help wanted. So,
yeah, he just
wait, he takes down the help wanted sign and he's dressed like a normal cowboy looking guy.
She apparently had clothes that fit him perfectly. Yeah.
He knocked on the door and he was like, "Arr, matey,
right?
I need work.
How many shillings would you provide for your
scurvy dog?
Shiver me timbers."
And she's all like, "Well, you ain't gonna make it far around here. You're gonna have to get a change of clothes and a change of accent."
Right? And then they puts him in like a barn, like he's like some freak, like Quasimodo, and they put him away and like bring him like
that
milk.
Must be it.
And and everything. It's a really strange music video. A lot of questionable decisions.
Well, yeah, I have so
my
many
favorite,
questions.
which leads me to my favorite, probably my favorite part of the video, which is the end, and not just for the obvious reasons, because it's the ending, but for the "to be continued," it says at the end. I was really hoping for like a Flash Gordon-esque "to be continued" where it says like the end, but puts a question mark at the end. We'll move on to the second video in this segment of ridiculous country music videos with Ricky Trevino, which is Trevino, Ricky Trevino's Bobbie and Mason. As it starts off, black and white screen, Ricky shows up, but you notice that the closer he gets to the school, the smaller he becomes, to the point where he looks like he could pass for a fifth grader. Ricky looks around his old school, he admires his trophies, or the trophies in the hall or whatever, when he sees the name Bobbie and Mason on one. He has a flashback of him playing baseball, but like getting distracted by the girl or whatever. He strikes out and you're like, oh boy, that girl will get you. The part in the video that makes me laugh out loud was when they get to the chorus of the song and it shows Ricky singing to the crowd as he looks like he's about 10 years old. He looks like he's like 5 foot flat, maybe 4'11". He's just like slapping his wrist. Like he's I'm assuming to get the blood flowing or whatever, but he's doing like these corny little dances to this clearly paid adoring crowd. Apparently he went to
his belt buckle is bigger than he is.
At one point, I know Ricky Trevino offers like his fiddle player a hand job, where he's like making like a motion where he's like playing the fiddle, but it just looks like he wants to jerk him off. Um, the little camera tricks they do to try and make Ricky Trevino look like a grown adult are hilarious. He's playing guitar on steps, and he's having the girl sit a few steps below him, so it looks like he's taller than he is. You know, that's a favorite. That's a favorite moment of mine. You know, the magic of cinematography. Yes, they're pretty bland music video, aside from the fact that you know they're trying to hide all. How tall is this guy? And I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it. I'm sure it's somewhere, but I have no idea how tall Ricky Trevino is. But he doesn't look taller than 4'11".
I don't know. There's a scene with like two groups of people at like a drive-in restaurant.
Oh right.
And the dude takes like a bite of his sandwich. He's eyeing this lady in the other car, and she like sensually like licks the top of her ice cream or whatever it is. She's
Oh right, like Cool Whip, something like that. Yeah.
And he's smoking a cigarette.
Doesn't
Oh, he
eat
just
it?
ate. He ate the cigarette because he's so like, oh my god,
Yeah. Right. He's
got a
that
fucking
turned
boner
on.
here.
Right. Yeah. That's Bobbie and Mason, man. That's Bobbie and Mason. That's what that is. Yeah, that's back in high school. But yeah, it's just it's a pretty fairly bland music video with a few funny things I noticed.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is lame. There's a lot of balloons being knocked around.
Yeah. We'll move on now to the last video in this segment. It is a song by the artist Neal McCoy. Neal McCoy. Sounds like real McCoy, but Neal McCoy, titled "They're Playing Our Song." I recently saw this for the first time, and I got to say it's quite something. Video begins with a couple turning on the radio in their convertible while they're parking, which is something people did in the 50s and 60s. Apparently, it's still a thing in '95. Anyway, for whatever reason, there's these close-ups of Neal and this woman's eyes and mouths as they're talking about playing a song on the radio. It's an odd decision, to say the least. The music video is essentially a collection of people getting horny while listening to this song on the radio in the nearby vicinity, while the song is being sung by Neal McCoy in the studio. Riveting stuff. Neal, he does some questionable dance moves. He does some questionable dance moves in this studio, mind you. Quite questionable, Neal. Very, very strange. I would kind of creeped out if I was the woman in this, like in the studio with him.
At the beginning, there's like a random little girl sleepover.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Okay, so I was gonna say, after watching this video, I realized that within a video entirely consisting of people getting ready to bump uglies lies a sleepover where three young girls having a pillow fight while a young boy and girl voyeuristically hang out outside their window. I'm not sure why that was included. I have my guesses. Shame on you, Neal McCoy. For shame.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. The entire video is about people fucking. And he's got three little girls having a pillow fight while having a little kids outside watching them. Where
I don't know. Is it really fucking though? Everyone's dancing with each other.
Oh, they're getting there. They're getting there.
I guess dancing does lead to fucking
90s
90%
foreplay,
of the
yeah.
time.
Come on now.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me the looks that old man was giving that lady? He wasn't like, let's do this. I got some Viagra. Well, actually, I don't even know if they had Viagra back then. I don't think they did. Maybe his dick didn't work. I don't know. Anyway, that'll do it for my ridiculous country music videos of '95.